Alright guys, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the Musi Gaming here, and today we are going to do a little something special, and that is going to be how you should be building your commanders as new commander for each troop type. Now, in today's video, we're going to go ahead and go over the commander plan that I would personally suggest as an infantry main, starting off from KVK 1, 2, and 3, and then cavalry main starting off from KVK 1, 2, and 3, and then archer main for starting off from KVK 1, 2, and 3. Because I think right now, with commander swaps, 2 commander swaps in the game, and with so many different commanders that are out there, I think there truly is the right answer, quote unquote, the right answer for you to actually build your commanders in pre-season of conquest all the way to KVK 3, right? Let me just go ahead and find the epic commander. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and get started, guys. Let's just go ahead and get started. Hey, I am Justin. Was like, I was here. Yes. Okay. So, what do you guys want to start first? Archer? Let's just start with archers, right? Because archers are the easiest because I have archer account, right? I have this account right here. You guys have seen how exactly I have built my account. So I think archers are probably the easiest that you can actually build up with, right? So let's start with archers. So in the beginning of pre-season of pre-KVK stage, you will start out with obviously trying to build Tutmos as much as possible, right? Tutmos is probably one of the most broken commanders that I've ever seen, ever used in KVK1. Just putting that out there. He's probably one of the broken commanders that I've used outside of YSG. He is so good that if you're in KVK 1 and 2, Tutmos is a really, really good commander. Now, in Preseason of Conquest, you're not going to have YSG, so you're going to actually build Kusunagi, and you're just going to use that one march until you get yourself a YSG as you enter KVK 1. Now, granted that YSG is actually meta commander in Season of Conquest. I know, it sounds crazy, but YSG is actually a meta commander that you can use in Season of Conquest. What I actually recommend that you do, you actually start building another commander pairing, and you start getting the dailies if you can. If you can, and if you want to main archers, I would say just start getting the dailies for Mehmet. And that's exactly what I did on my account. You guys can see that on my main account, on my Max Level Newbie account, I got Mehmet expertise, right? I use just the dailies to expertise him. And the reason why I did that, was simple, is because when you enter KVK 3, you get 2 chances for you to actually commander swap, and it is just such a waste for you to actually not be able to commander swap the second one. And given that YSG is going to be and has been the best commander pairing for Qin Shi Huang, I think keeping YSG is probably a better option than actually swapping him away to something like Zhu Liang. So I think having another commander, and I think Mehmet makes the most sense because, for one, he's leadership commander, right? If you want to run 2 archer set, that's great, and he can just be used behind any commander, right? He can actually be used behind Sun Tzu too, right? Mehmet is a leadership commander, so he doesn't really need to be in certain type of commanders. He also has 20% skill damage buff that does absolutely that works absolutely well with any commander, and then 20% just universal attack buff too. Yeah, he's a really, really good commander that you can just have just for Canyon if you need to, right? So that's why I would say build Mehmet. And dailies for him actually pops up really, really early. Tutmos dailies, by the way, Tutmos dailies only appears as you enter KVK 2, which at that point, you already missed out on being able to use Tutmos for KVK 1. So I will say Tutmos, just go ahead and try to get it with like gold tests and gold keys as much as possible so that you can have Tutmos YSG as your first pair. But thereafter, I would say just go ahead and get dailies for Mehmet. all the time. And I think this is how you should be running for KVK 1 and 2. Now, granted that you can probably build something like this where I have like, if you go to my main account, my account, yeah, you can build some stuff like richer. But you guys can see that I have 5111, and like I have not invested a single gold head into this guy. I just gave him the most generic stuff that you can find. Same with my Minamoto, right? I have nothing really built for him. 5411. I just spent like what, $15 for me to get him 5411. I just leave him there. Use it for basically Sunset Canyon. That's it. But the 2 marches that you should be focused on, 2 commanders that you should be focused on, 3 commanders that you should be focused on. Sorry, not 2. Should be Tutmos, YSG, and Medmen. That's just my opinion. And then as you enter Seasonal Conquest or KVK 3, and you get 2 commander swaps, you'll be able to swap Tutmos out for Qin Shi Huang, right? And you get another chance for you to swap him out, swap Medmen out too. My current plan for my main account, for my max level newbie account, is actually Gazamada and Gonzalo. Where's Gonzalo at? Did I not bring Gonzalo up? Where's Gonzalo at? Oh, there you go. Gazamada and Gonzalo. But if you have like secondary commander pairing that you had in mind, let's say you want to run Archer and let's just go ahead and move this guy over here. Yeah, let's say you want to go with Archer and Infantry, right? Then you'll get Sun Tzu Prime, right? And then with whatever gold heads that you have left over at that point, you can just build the second march, right? Same deal with Cavalry. I'll just go ahead and get Achilles, and then if you want to go ahead and work on your gold head with Arthur, then that's basically how I will build your second march. So that's how you can actually build your 4 march lineup as an archer main, starting from pre-KVK stage to KVK 3 and onward. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Not gonna lie, use Mina YSG for chain, not Richard YSG. No, that's just one of the marches. Not important part. It's just one of the marches, not important. So that's basically how I would personally think you can actually max utilize all of your gold heads, all of the dailies and all that stuff. Maximize the value for you to actually get from pre-KVK to Seasonal Conquest. Now, if you were to go back to pre-Seasonal Conquest, let's say we want to start off with Cavalry. Cavalry, I would personally suggest that if you're not getting Minamoto, I would say you should just not main Cavalry. Like, KVK 1, there's no other commander that's really, really good. Like, you can technically run Bybars YSG. You can technically run Bybars YSG, but like, then why play Cavalry, right? Like, just play something else. Just play Archer. You know, Archer's great. So I would say Minamoto is probably the good. I'll just put in Bybars just in case you guys want to. Someone makes a comment about it. Yeah, Minamoto Bybars, probably the most commonly used KVK 1 commander pairing that you can use. Obviously, you can start building on CC as well. Where's CC at? There you go. You can start building on CC as well. If you want to get your foot into Cavalry, first commander swap candidate as early as possible. So I would say just for pre-KVK season, work on those 3 commanders. Most likely with double C for from the vengeance, from the dailies, so that you can expertise double C as early as possible, right? And then from there onward, you will still want to get YSG. And then I'll say everything else is just whatever, right? You can just go ahead and say you can basically run these commanders. Yeah. And then in KVK 1, I think this is how I would exactly run those commanders at. Like, maybe this order could be different, I think, because skill tree is a little bit better for me personally. But yeah, you can run Minamoto YSG, and then Bybars double C. that's how I'll run the 2 marches. If you want to run 2 marches, I will say Minamoto YSG is just fine to run on its own. But that's how I'll run it. Now, going into KVK2, the only commander that I would say is worth investing is actually this guy right here, Saladin. I think Saladin is a great commander. You can actually run Saladin with almost anything. A lot of people actually like to run Saladin with Ethelfled. A lot of people, you can run it with Bybars. You can run him with even double C. Doesn't really matter. If you want to swap places like this, that's also fine. But the point is that you work on those commanders is specifically, right? So that's how I'll run the KVK2 marches. I wouldn't touch, personally, Bertrand. I wouldn't touch Bertrand at all, because if you want to touch Bertrand, you will need to have Takeda in there. And that, if you want to get Takeda in there, it's just really hard to get both of those commanders maxed out while not touching on like double C. Double C is just way easier for you to actually get yourself expertise him. He's a gold key commander. He is, they give you a lot of sculptures for double C in the earlier game nowadays with Vengeance. If you guys haven't played the early game lately, yeah, nowadays double C gets a lot of heads. You can get a lot of double C heads in the earlier part of the game. As a matter of fact, the only commander sculpture that you can get from gold key in the beginning of the game lately is actually double C. So double C has, if you want to expertise double C really early on, that's actually not a big problem. It's actually really easy. So double C, Saladin, and then Minamoto YSG. Those are the 4 commanders that I was focused on. Obviously, you don't need to put in too much. You can't put in gold heads into Minamoto, so that doesn't really matter. You can put in gold heads for Saladin. You can put in gold heads for YSG. And then as you enter Season of Conquest, I think you still want to go with Shinshiwan YSG. Take Minamoto out of the equation. And then I'll say commander swap the second commander to Achilles. And then work on Arthur. With whatever you want to, whatever gold heads that you have, work on Arthur Achilles, basically. I know that Achilles, you need to spend like a lot of money nowadays for you to get Achilles, I heard. If that's the case, then just work on Arthur and then just get Arthur expertise and then work on Achilles thereafter with the gold heads. Whatever the order might be, just work on those 2 marches. And then from there onward, just work on the best alternatives thereafter. Obviously, if you want to build like the infantry march, Sun Tzu Prime and Bai Chi, or Sun Tzu Prime and Yu Che is basically the best commander pairing that you can make from there onward. And then also at the same time, if you want to build Siege March, that's also an option that you can make. I don't think Bertrand is really worth it at all. Yeah, I have, on my main account, I have expertise Bertrand, and he's worse than Philip. He is worse than Philip for sure. So if you're gonna, yeah. Like, I tried making Bertrand worse so much, but like he is not worth it. And then by the time that I kind of like, started trying to use him at the end, like Achilles came out, and like Bertrand, I'm never gonna touch him at all, right? You guys can see that I expertise Bertrand with with just dailies, right? It was such a waste of money, but I had to do it because I didn't know what was gonna come out, right? And Philip was just so horrible with Arthur, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why I did it. But that's how I would run a Cavalry main account, personally. How you can actually go from pre-KVK to having 4 marches in Season of Conquest, that's how I would exactly build it. And I would not go any other way. I would not go any other way, personally. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. If you guys disagree, let me know. If you guys have a better way than this, let me know in the comment down below. But that's how I would exactly run it. 0 waste. Zero commander has wasted as Cavalry main, just like how it was for Archer main. Now, if you're an infantry main, let's just go reset the board. And let's go to infantry main. Now, I have an account that is in Project Vortex 3950 that is doing exactly what I'm about to tell you. And right now, I'm currently starting. I'll start building from Sun Tzu, the regular Sun Tzu, right? Because Sun Tzu is in KVK1 is practically a legendary commander, in my opinion. And you can just pair him with whatever you want, like, you know. He's just worse, right? He's just worse. You can pair him with whatever you want. And in the meantime, you should be building on Pierce, right? Let's just go check out my Project Vortex account. You should be building on Pierce at the same time, because the reason why you should build on Pierce so early on is because in the early game, you can actually get Pierce unlocked very early. On the daily gold keys, you can get him. The daily bundles, the daily special offer for Pierce actually gets unlocked very early on. So I would say you have to work on those commanders, and you can probably work on things like this, right? For pre-KVK. Johnny said Sun Ethel. Yeah, Sun Ethel is fine. Running Sun Ethel is fine. But that's just how I would run until you get your hands on YSG, right? Until you get your hands on YSG, this is exactly how I run it. Do not invest in Charles Martel. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take out Charles Martel just because I don't want you guys to invest in it. This is how I run it. Yeah, because of course, if you're a Garrison league, you can run Charles Martel. But like Charles Martel is just like, yeah, let's just leave him there. But yeah, Charles Martel is good, but I'm just talking about like average people, like whales. I'm not talking about whales. Whales would have natural inefficiencies when they're building up commanders because they have to go think about, rallying and garrisoning and all that stuff. I'm just talking about normal people, mid spenders to low spenders, how they should be building, right? For pre-seasonal conquest, pre-KVK, these are the commanders that you should be working on. And Charles Martel, don't expertise him. Don't invest any gold as on it. Is my opinion. And then as you enter KVK1, I would say this is probably the 2 commander pairing that you should be working on. If you don't have Pierce is your main march that you should be running, in my opinion. If you don't have Charles Martel invested, that's fine. Just use him with Ethelflin. And as a matter of fact, I would just not use the second march at all if you're an infantry main. And if you're mid to low spenders, like I'll just not run Pierce, the second infantry march at all. I'll just run Sun Tzu, YSG. That's it. That's all you need. And that's exactly what I'm gonna run on my on this account right here. You guys can see that like I have Sun Tzu basically fully built up, right? Anything beyond this, I'm building Pierce for future. I'm building Pierce for future, yes. You can see that my Charles Martel is 4111. It's not even 511. He's 411. I'm not building him. I'm just using him for my what's this called? Sunset Canyon. And that's it. I'm not even running him because I want the most amount of efficiencies for this account. Right? And then as you enter KVK2, then you actually start working on that one march that you need. And that is Charles Martel CJ. Right? You want to run that one pincer march that you want to run. Obviously, you can run other marches like this, but that should be your KVK2 lineups, in my opinion, if you want to main infantry mains. Yeah, pure CJ, KVK2, there you go. Now, what that does, that gives you 2 commanders that you can work on. Obviously, because you can get Pierce from dailies, you have a lot of gold tests that you accumulate from KVK1 to KVK2, right? Obviously, you have to invest some gold tests into YSG. That's fine. After KVK1, after you're done with your YSG, right now I'm 90 days into this kingdom, or 87 days into this kingdom, right? I have gold tests enough for me to expertise YSG probably next week or this week, right? So in such case, In such case, you'll be able to save up enough gold dust for you to expertise CJ as well as mid spender to low spender, as long as you don't do any weird stuff like investing your gold dust into Charles Motel. I think this should be your efficient, like no waste marches that you should be running in KVK 2. Now, as you enter Seasonal Conquest, now you can put in Shinshi Huang, take out regular. No, actually, let me just put it down here because that's this is your secondary march. And then you can swap out Shinshi Huang with Purist. And then you can start running Sun Tzu Prime with CJ. Now, if you swap out CJ, then I'll start building on. Where's Bai Chi at? Hold on. Let me go back to that again. Let me just go ahead and explain that again. Where is CJ Pierce? Right, from as you enter KVK 3, you're gonna swap out Pierce and CJ, right? So we're gonna not have Pierce and CJ. Now, I'll personally recommend that you actually start working on Shinshi Huang. I would say you should probably swap Shinshi Huang with Pierce or CJ so that you can have one Archer March. Like, this is one march that you don't want to miss out on. And then you should get Sun Tzu Prime. And then with whatever gold that's left over, I think you should either work on Liu Che or Bai Chi. Now, I personally think Bai Chi is the better option of those two, because Bai Chi is not only the commander that was released later, but because Sun Tzu Prime's AoE, the what's this called? The true damage is amplified by the amount of damage that you do, right? So the damage factor that you do with Bai Chi is actually higher than whatever you do with Liu Che. Also, at the same time, it's a half circle, it's a wider circle, and also it has Malice effect that would actually just proc Sun Tzu Prime's active skill a lot more. Why swapping CJ, not Pierce? I'm swapping both of them. I would say YSG needs to be kept. How about Richard? I would not invest in Richard. Anything beyond 5111 or like, yeah, Richard, you can spin some wheels and then get yourself 2111, 3111, 5111 Richard. I would not invest in him because everything that goes into that commander is going to be wasted, in my opinion. Does every kingdom get a commander swap after K2? I think so. And then from there onward, I will say start working on your other marches, right? Like other OP marches only. And that could be a new cavalry march that you can actually bring into the table. Or if you want to go ahead and invest in siege march, you can actually do this. So that's how I would build infantry without wasting any commander heads, in my opinion, in 2026. With 2 commander swaps in the equation, as well as Sun Tzu Prime and Bai Chi into the equation, that's how I'll run infantry from pre-KVK to Seasonal Conquest. Yes, only for chain 5 is needed. Yeah. I think the Richard, the only reason why you need Richard unlocked is for chaining, right? That's about it. And even chaining though, as you enter Seasonal Conquest, yeah, like it's not really. Yeah, I personally like to use like Qin Shi Huang Shajar. My Shajar is 1111. Shajar is barely unlocked. I just personally like to use Qin Shi Huang Shajar because that's just really easy. And yeah, like just unlocking Richard's fine. I would just not use any gold test on him. That's just my opinion. But yeah, like I think you can run Shazar, YSG, Shazar, Qin Shi Huang Shazar, and Shazar just heals so much, even at 1111. Sun Tzu Prime is higher priority than Qin Shi Huang. Now, I'm just talking about this particular person because this is actually for infantry. So for infantry account person who was raising pure CJ with pincer formation, I think for that person specifically, Sun Tzu Bai Chi will be higher priority than Qin Shi Huang YSG. That's what I mean. So yeah, that's just how I would personally build any commander pairing from pre-seasonal conquest to yeah, KVK 3 onward. In my opinion, I think there is a chance that you can actually make 0 mistakes in in earlier KVKs now, because there's so many OP commanders. There's 2 commander swaps. They're just what I would personally consider as right answers in the mix, so that you can actually do those. But obviously, if you're a rally or garrison leads, it's gonna change, right? If you're a rally or garrison, it's gonna change because you have to invest in commanders like Charles Martel. You have to, if you're archer main, actually, Tutmos YSG, you don't really need. If you're cavalry main, you might have to invest in other commanders. You know what I mean? So, rally and garrison leagues would have different efficiencies, but overall, in a nutshell, I'll say low to mid to even like some of high spenders should follow exactly what I just told you. That's just my opinion. Hey, I'm Justin. Said, thank you, Musa. Do you think your son YSG will perform better better than 5511 Tutmos YSG? Maybe, but I'm not sure because I am building a lot of stuff, right? I'm building a lot of stuff. I think equipment wise, I'm up there almost for KVK1 T4 players, right? But the only thing that Sun Tzu is missing is that march speed. And Tutmos YSG, the reason why Tutmos YSG is so good is because Tutmos actually has 10% extra march speed. Now, I would need to actually build, and this is why I've been saving a lot of materials for. I would need to make this wind scars as soon as possible, in my opinion, for me to compensate for the fact that I'm gonna be missing a lot of march speed. So yeah, that's what I'm planning on. I might even make double march speed build where I actually craft a Call of the Loyal on top of wind scars instead of just running silent trial that I have right now. Yeah, we'll think about this. Wait, hold on. Can I just craft one right now? Why don't I craft one right now? Because I think, I just I forgot that I bought out the entire shop of materials. So that's why I can't craft it right now. It's a little unfortunate, but wait, hold on. Can't I just dismantle some stuff? I kind of want to craft it right now. I need like, how many pieces is that? I need like 6 more. Hold on. Yeah, let's do this right now. I know I'm gonna regret this. Let's craft this right now, guys. Let's craft this right now. Alright, guys. Hokage is like Musa. Let's go. We're back to risking. Yes, sir. I need to crit this, guys. I need to crit this. Otherwise, I'm gonna be chased down by Tutmos YSGs. Let's see. Let's see if I can crit this wind scar, guys. Alright. 8 million gold. Let's go. I'm calling no crit. Yo, don't curse me like that, sir. Don't curse me like that. Let's go, guys. No! Ah! Okay. Wow. I am blaming that on Hokage for sure. I am blaming that on Hokage for sure. Now my son's now my double C doesn't have a weapon now. Aye. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. And I hope this is really helpful for all those people who are playing the game, like all those younger players who are playing the earlier part of the KVKs, who are thinking about building out their marches from pre-KVK to Season of Conquest, because I think this is really, really important. So yeah, personally, I hope this is helpful for you guys, because this game is so brutal to your mistakes that one mistake that you make could like really ruin your account like a lot. Like I've seen that with how that 3927 account is ruined, right? Like the one that my king let me play. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very appreciative of what he has done for that account for me. I should be glad that I have an account to play on that account, but like, yeah, there's so many mistakes that were made in that account that his trade is just horrendous. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I have not critted that. And as always, Hokage is like, if it was 79, it would crit. Yo, my 79 account has not critted anything. Almost anything. But anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video, guys. Peace!